Today we are going to talk about one of the most funny and cleverly made comedy shows ever seen on television, Third Rock from the Sun. This amazing show first came to our screens in 1996 and told the story of 4 aliens who were pretending to be humans while trying to survive on Earth. There was truly no other show like it at that time. But now 30 years have gone by, and we want to know what happened to the people who were in it. Who became a big star? Who sadly is no longer with us? We are going to look at all of them right now. But before we do that, please do not forget to subscribe to my channel. So let us begin with the very first alien on the show. Number 1. John Lithgow, Dick Solomon. When Third Rock from the Sun first appeared on our screens in January 1996, John was already 50 years old. Most people watching probably thought he was just a serious dramatic actor trying out a funny side project. But what John Lithgow was actually about to give us was one of the most physically wild and hilarious comedy performances that television had ever seen. Nobody could have seen it coming at all. He played Dick Solomon, the leader of a small alien team that was sent to Earth to study human beings. Dick is given a human male body to live in, and from the very first episode, the whole joke is that this body comes with feelings, wants, and a big ego, none of which Dick knows how to deal with. He walks around too forcefully, loves people way too strongly, treats everything like it is the most amazing thing he has ever seen, and makes everyone around him very uncomfortable almost all the time. But what made Dick such a special character was not just the funny physical stuff he did. There was also a real emotional heart underneath it all. Dick truly tries his best to understand other people. He falls very deeply in love with Dr. Mary Albright. He also thinks hard about questions of who he is and what it means to live and die. Did the character of Dick Solomon work well? I think the answer is definitely yes. But I want to say clearly that playing this role was not nearly as easy as it appeared on screen. Behind the scenes, John Lithgow brought Dick to life so perfectly that it was impossible to look away from him. This was something he truly earned and deserved. And of course, the awards proved it. John won the Emmy Award for Outstanding Lead Actor in a Comedy Series 3 times in a row, in 1996, 1997, and 1998. He also won the Golden Globe for the same role 3 years in a row. That kind of thing almost never happens to anyone in this industry. And here is where the story of John Lithgow after Third Rock becomes truly incredible, because when the show finished, his career did not slow down at all. In fact, it only got bigger. In 2008, he played the Trinity Killer Arthur Mitchell on the Showtime drama Dexter, and it was one of the most frightening and well-written villain roles ever put on television. He won another Emmy for that performance. Then in 2016, he played Prime Minister Winston Churchill in The Crown, giving a performance that was powerful, flawed, and deeply real. You can also add Bombshell, Interstellar, and many Broadway shows to his long list of achievements. This man is truly able to do absolutely everything. As of today, John Lithgow is 80 years old, and he shows no sign at all of wanting to stop working. With an estimated net worth of around $45 million, John has been happily married to his wife Mary Georger since 1981, and he continues to be one of the most respected and admired actors in all of Hollywood. Now it is time to talk about the heart of the entire series. Number 2. Jane Curtin, Dr. Mary Albright. Jane Curtin was 48 years old when she took on the role of Dr. Mary Albright in Third Rock, an anthropology professor at Pendleton State University who becomes Dick Solomon's love interest, his work colleague, and the main person left completely confused by everything he does. Here is what I really love about Mary as a character. She is not a foolish person at all. She is smart, successful, and very aware of what is happening around her. But Dick is so completely over the top that Mary is always left wondering what is real. Is he out of his mind? Is he some kind of genius? Is she somehow falling in love with him for absolutely no logical reason whatsoever? Jane played all of these feelings with such calm and dry humor that she became the perfect steady comedy anchor in the middle of all the madness around her. Before Third Rock came along, Jane Curtin was already a well-known comedy legend in her own right. She was part of the original cast of Saturday Night Live from 1975 to 1980 and hosted the beloved Weekend Update segment on that show. She also starred alongside Dan Aykroyd in the classic comedy film, The Conheads, which is interestingly also a story about aliens trying to blend in with regular human beings. Her work on Third Rock earned her 2 Emmy Awards in 1999 and 2000, adding even more proof of her talent to an already impressive career. Her on-screen connection with John Lithgow felt genuinely warm, funny, and at times surprisingly touching and real. After the show came to an end, Jane Curtin kept on working in both film and television. She appeared in I Love You, Man, gave her voice to a character in the animated series The Loud House, and did a great deal of theater and voice work over the years. She also had a returning role in the crime drama Unforgettable. Today, at 78 years old, Jane Curtin remains a true comedy icon with a career that has lasted 5 full decades. She is one of those very rare performers who made not just one, but 2 truly important contributions to television comedy. The first was during her time at SNL, and the second was with Third Rock from the Sun. Both of those contributions still hold up beautifully and feel just as fresh today as they did back then. Now we come to a name that might surprise some people. The one who brought pure chaos and comedy together in the most wonderful way possible. Number 3, French Stewart, Harry Solomon. French Stewart was only 30 years old when he took on the role of Harry Solomon, the team's communications officer. Harry was the alien who got left out when the others moved into human bodies. The crew needed someone whose body could work as the transmitter to send messages back to their home planet. So Harry basically became a living radio. He receives signals through his head, which sometimes means his eyes go completely blank and alien transmissions come blasting out of his skull. And he has absolutely no idea that any of it is even happening. This is because Harry was a little simple and very strange in the most lovable way possible. He has no background knowledge about anything on Earth at all. He discovers the simple joy of eating a sandwich like it is some kind of spiritual moment. He becomes completely obsessed with totally random human habits and traditions. He has no inner voice telling him to stop, no worry, and no understanding of how to behave around other people. And French Stewart played all of this in such a wonderfully odd and physical style that Harry became one of the most unforgettable characters in the history of television comedy. We as viewers loved him so deeply because in some moments his pure strangeness and innocent joy brought a kind of happiness into our otherwise ordinary lives. And you know that thing French Stewart did with his eyes? That constantly squinting look he carried through the whole show? That was completely a personal decision he made for the character. He chose to do it, and never once dropped it for 6 entire seasons. 6 years of squinting without a break. That is total and complete dedication to a role. French earned 2 Emmy nominations for this performance, and to be completely honest, he deserved every single bit of praise that came his way. Harry's sense of comedy timing was different from every other character on the show. It was more relaxed, more dreamlike and strange, almost floating in its own world, and that quality gave Third Rock from the Sun a wonderfully unpredictable and fresh feeling throughout its entire run. After the show finished, French Stewart stayed active and kept working steadily in television. He appeared in CSI, Mom Drunk History, and many other TV programs over the years. He also did stage work, voice acting, and kept himself busy in a variety of supporting roles across the industry. In 2006, he married actress Vanessa Branch, and the couple generally lived a quieter and more private life than some of his more famous co-stars chose to. As of today, at 62 years old, French Stewart may not have reached the same high level of public fame as some of the others from the cast, but he remains a working and well-regarded actor in Hollywood. Before we go on, friends, I need a small favor from you. Please subscribe to my channel and give this video a like. It means more than you know. Okay, now let us talk about a character who walked into every scene and owned it completely. A truly extraordinary force of nature. Number 4, Kristen Johnston, Sally Solomon. Kristen Johnston was only 28 years old when she stepped into the role of Sally Solomon, the alien crew member who had been put into a female human body and was absolutely not pleased about it. Sally was the team's weapons expert and security officer. She was aggressive, physically strong, fiercely competitive, and totally unable to make sense of what it meant to be a woman in human society. And Kristen played this role with a wonderful kind of wild and powerful energy. Sally tries out being feminine, like she is wearing a costume that was forced onto her and does not fit right at all. She learns to flirt, goes out on dates, gets her heart broken, and reacts to every single one of these things with the kind of frustration and confusion of someone who truly cannot understand why the world works the way it does. Viewers loved her not just because she was genuinely hilarious, but because she showed this sense of feeling out of place with such an honest and physical performance. She was in every true sense of the word absolutely impossible to look away from. The Emmy jury agreed with all of that, Kristen Johnston won 2 Emmy Awards for Outstanding Supporting Actress in 1996 and 1999. Her very first win sent shockwaves through the entire entertainment industry because she was so new and unknown at the time. But honestly, anyone who had been watching the show already knew she was giving one of the best comedy performances on television. But Kristen's story becomes very personal and very courageous right at this point. After Third Rock came to an end in 2001, Kristen continued working in the industry. But behind the scenes, she was going through a very difficult time in her personal life. In 2004, she nearly lost her life due to a perforated stomach ulcer, and she has spoken very honestly and openly about how her struggle with drugs and alcohol played a role in that terrifying health crisis. Instead of hiding that part of her story, Kristen made the brave choice to share it with the world. In 2012, she wrote a personal memoir called Guts, which was brutally honest, very funny in its own way, and deeply moving to read. It went on to appear on the New York Times bestseller list. She also started a non-profit organization called Eslem NYC, which works to provide mental health and substance abuse support and services to people in New York City who have low incomes. Today, at 58 years old, Kristen Johnston continues to act, to speak up for others, and to talk openly and without shame about mental health and the journey of recovery. She is truly one of Hollywood's most real and unfiltered voices. Now we move on to someone whose journey, after the show, genuinely caught everyone by surprise. I believe that even if you already know what happened, hearing it told this way will feel different and hit a little harder. Number 5. Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Tommy Solomon. Joseph was just 15 years old when he took on the role of Tommy Solomon, a character who, despite living inside a teenage body, was actually the oldest and most experienced member of the alien crew. Just stop and think about that idea for a moment. Tommy is ancient by the standards of his own planet. He is wise, full of knowledge, and mentally far superior to the humans around him. And yet he is completely stuck inside a young teenager's body, trying to survive high school life, awkward crushes, peer pressure, and all the embarrassment that comes with being treated like a child when you are anything but. That contrast was a goldmine for comedy, and young Joseph played it with real brilliance. He was not just the kid on the show filling a role. He was genuinely one of the strongest and most capable performers in the entire cast. His natural sense of comedic timing was impressively sharp for someone his age, and he held his own alongside John Lithgow, one of the very best actors in the business, for 6 complete seasons. But then 2001 arrived, the show ended, and Joseph did something that almost no child actor in history has ever successfully managed to do. He stepped away completely. He walked away from Hollywood entirely, enrolled at Columbia University, and spent his time studying French poetry and literary theory. He gave himself real space and time to figure out who he was as a person, completely separate from the entertainment world. He never rushed to stay in the public eye the way others might have. He did not try to use his childhood fame to grab the next role quickly. He simply chose to become a full human being first before anything else. In 2005, he starred in the dark indie film Brick, taking on a lead role that felt like detective noir, but was set inside a high school world. His performance was stunning, mature, completely controlled, and had absolutely nothing in common with his days on Third Rock. He also built and launched Hit Record, a creative online platform that brings together artists from all around the world. It has won Emmy Awards and genuinely empowers independent creators on a global scale. This was never just a personal hobby for him. It was always a real mission with a real purpose. Joseph married Tasha McCauley in a quiet private ceremony in 2014. They have 2 children together, and Joseph has made a very clear and deliberate choice to keep his children almost completely away from public attention. As of today, at 45 years old, Joseph Gordon-Levitt is one of the most thoughtful, versatile, and genuinely admired actors of his entire generation. Number 6. Wayne Knight. Officer Don Orville. You knew we had to bring up Wayne Knight, because no honest conversation about Third Rock from the Sun is ever truly complete without talking about Officer Don. Wayne was 39 years old when the show began, playing Don Orville, the cheerful and carefree local police officer who started dating Sally and had absolutely no idea that the woman he was falling for was an alien who could probably lift his entire police station off the ground if she wanted to. The poor man genuinely believed he had found the most wonderful girlfriend in the world. And right now, I just want to shout at the screen, Dawn, Sally is an alien! Dawn was spectacularly and completely clueless in the most lovable way possible. He thought of himself as resourceful and capable. He believed he was skilled and good at his job. He had no idea about anything that was really going on around him. And Wayne Knight, with the wonderful clownish sincerity and warmth he brought to the role, made Don a character you actually liked, rather than just found annoying. But Wayne Knight was already well known before Third Rock even came along. You absolutely recognize him as Newman from Seinfeld, Jerry Seinfeld's scheming and endlessly crafty neighbor and enemy, a character who appeared throughout the entire run of that legendary series. What is remarkable is that Wayne played both Newman and Officer Don at the very same time, appearing in both shows running side by side. That is a truly rare and impressive comedy achievement that honestly does not get talked about nearly as much as it should. After Third Rock ended, Wayne Knight kept working extensively in voice acting and television. He gave his voice to the character Snot on the animated series American Dad, showed up in dozens of TV shows and films, and continues to work as an active and busy actor. One moment worth mentioning happened in 2017, when Wayne Knight suddenly found himself at the center of a very disturbing false rumor that spread across the internet. Reports started going around online claiming that he had died. The story spread rapidly across social media until Wayne himself stepped forward to confirm that it was completely untrue and that he was healthy and doing perfectly well. He dealt with the whole situation with real grace and a good sense of humor, which tells you a great deal about the kind of person he truly is. Today, at 68 years old, Wayne Knight is still actively working and remains a much-loved figure in the long history of television comedy. And yes, to be absolutely clear, he is still very much alive and well. Number 7, Ellery Wendell, Mrs. May Dupchik. When we talk about Third Rock from the Sun, it would truly be impossible to leave out Ellery Wendell, who brought Mrs. Dubuck to life as the wonderfully odd landlady of the Solomon family household. Mrs. Dubuck was a woman of a certain age who had a very clear, very open, and very enthusiastic personal interest in the men of the Solomon family, while having absolutely nothing to do with their secret lives as aliens. Sadly, Ellery Wendell passed away on November 27, 2018, at the age of 88. She had enjoyed a long and rich career in both theater and television throughout her life, and fans of Third Rock from the Sun were deeply and genuinely saddened when they heard the news of her passing. There was only ever one Mrs. Dubuck, and no one could ever take her place. Rest in peace, Ellery. Friends, I am truly grateful to each and every one of you for staying with me and watching this video all the way to this very moment. Until we find each other again in the next video, take care of yourselves. Goodbye.